Everything that you're doing is failing because you won't include God in it. It's Blue Fam, peace and blessings. This is Derric Rakumor, and this video is by request. I've received a lot of messages from people, from fam, basically asking, how do I go ahead and get a mate? And they're asking me, share my opinion, share my, what I think, what's the best way of going ahead and picking up someone. And I say picking up someone because mainly a lot of people, when they're asking me this, their whole thing is they keep saying, well, I'm trying to find a mate or whatever, or trying to find somebody I can get with because the winter is coming. And people have been quoting this, they've been saying this for the longest time. And I'm like, when they're saying it and when they're asking for someone, basically they're looking for a warm body. And I'm not here to judge. I'm not, not here to judge at all. You do you. Whatever you do is between you, the divine, and your ancestors. However, if you're going ahead and you're approaching it from that perspective, the reason why you're having relationship problems, the reason why your relationships ain't working, the reason why every time you're going ahead and you're trying to pick somebody and they keep, you keep getting into this same bind, and I'm talking to my brothers and sisters, same, both of y'all, all right, both of us. The reason why that's happening is because you don't have God in this. You're not putting God in this. You're doing this from a Western perspective. And when you do it from a Western perspective, it's very secular. It's very, there's no significance behind it except for you're trying to go ahead and get a warm body. Okay? Now, like I said, you're not including God in this. And this is part of the reason why you're having the relationship problems that you're having, or, whatever you get with someone is basically being the same thing. Now, before I go any further, let me explain what I mean by this. You got to remember that one of the things that a lot of people, they fail to realize is that one of the biggest issues, one of the things that occurred during slavery, most people go ahead and they focus on the physical brutality of slavery, but they don't focus on the spiritual and the emotional brutality that also occurred during that period and to our ancestors. Consequently, because of that happening, what ended up going on is that a lot of people, we go ahead and we mimic what other people are doing. We mimic other people's way of getting in relationships. All right. So as a result, the way in which most of us go ahead and we get in a relationship, we go ahead and we look at it, brother goes ahead and sees his sister and it's like, man, oh, she's hot, this and that and the other. So we go ahead and we like the way she smells, we like the way her hair is, we like this, we like that, and we go ahead and we're attracted to him. On the flip side, sister goes ahead and sees his brother and she's like, oh, oh, he's fine, this, that, and the other. She likes his body. She like whatever car he drives or whatever the case may be. Whatever, you know what I mean. But the point is, they're attracted to each other. And they're attracted to each other based upon physical things. From a Western perspective, that's how they bring relationships together. From a Western perspective, this is how they come together. So they get together just based upon the fact that they like each other, they're attracted to each other, and that's it. There's nothing else. So when you approach a relationship from that, or you approach your individual from that, there's no sustenance in it. This is the reason why it fails. You're not looking at that individual as a divine individual, okay? You're not looking at that. Sisters ain't looking at that man as this man is, this man is a manifestation of God. Brothers ain't looking at this sister as, oh, this is a manifestation of the goddess. No one's approaching it from that perspective. You're not approaching it as these are, this is an enlightened, a spiritual being that's going to help me to evolve and help me to grow and become who I need to become. You're not approaching it from that perspective. You're approaching it from the perspective of, I want to go ahead and I want to get laid. That's the reason why the relationships fail. Because you're looking at each other, basically, to put it bluntly, as a piece of meat. Okay? So, our ancestral way of doing things. Our ancestral way of doing things is God, remember, is very remote. God is like the CEO of the universe, the president of the universe. So our CEO, our president, our first ancestor is a way managing the universe, managing the universes. This is the reason why it takes so long for the divine to answer our prayers whenever we submit a prayer. It's not that the divine doesn't care about us or any of that. It's just that the divine, basically, that's how the divine approaches things. It's no different from going ahead and trying to reach the CEO of a major Fortune 500 company or the president of a country. Okay? You have to go through the ropes. Okay? So, in its place, in its absence, I should say, the divine puts the ancestors there. And the ancestors become the mouthpiece of the divine. So, and you have to also remember, the ancestors speak to us. They speak to us through our dreams. They speak to us through mediumship. They speak to us through divination. Okay? They speak to us they communicate to us through our higher self. So when we approach relationships from an ancestral perspective, from our ancestral way of doing things, brother goes ahead and likes this sister. Sister goes ahead and she likes the brother. They're attracted to each other. But then they go ahead and they say, let's take this to the ancestors. Okay? It don't have to be both of them, but one of them. Let's take this to the ancestors. Let's see what the ancestors got to say about if it's in my best interest to go ahead and deal with this individual. Okay? So they take it to the ancestors. And one of the best ways of doing this is through divination. Keep it in mind. Ancestors speak through us through divination. This is also through the higher self. So the ancestors go ahead and they speak and they say, hey, this person, this individual, no go. Okay? You leave them alone. Or they go ahead and say, hey, guess what? Yeah, you're attracted to this individual. This individual is going to help you in your destiny. It's in your best interest to go ahead and deal with them. They are in alignment with your destiny, with your purpose. That's how we approach things from an ancestral way. Okay? When you approach it from that perspective, you have to remember the reason why when you allow your ancestors or you allow God to speak through your ancestors and you involve the ancestors in your decision making of pursuing someone or the relationship, the reason why this is superior is because you have to remember the ancestors do not have a physical body. So the ancestors, they can see beyond the superficialities. Okay? The ancestors, you must remember, the ancestors, they used to live here. They're familiar with this physical life. They know of the hardships. They know all the crap that we have to go through. They know of our limitations. They know that because of us having this physical body and us living in this dimension, that we can't see beyond, some of us can't see beyond our nose. They know that. That's the reason why their ancestors are there. They're here to be our guides. They're here to assist us. So when we go in here and we come to the ancestors, we bring the ancestors, we involve them in our decision making of picking someone, that we want to, that we're attracted to. They can go ahead and they can see, oh, okay, yeah, this individual has these issues, this, and this, but it will work with yours, and y'all can come together and you can make something happen. They can see beyond that because we can't see it. Now, because of this occurring, because of our ancestors going ahead and having the ability to see beyond the physical, they can go ahead and they can tell if an individual, if their destiny is aligned with ours. And this is what makes the relationship work. Okay? This is what goes ahead and secures your relationship. Now, I cannot tell you how many times, and before I even tell you that, I used to be the same way. I used to go ahead and pick relationships the same way. Oh, okay, I like this person, and I like this person is this and that and the other. So I go ahead and get with this woman and all that kind of stuff. And then later on, things go downhill. Okay. So I used to do the same thing, and that's the reason why I know about this. And this is even after, dealing with, learning what I've learned. I still went ahead and I picked relationships the same way. But I am so glad that when I found or I learned how we did things from an ancestral perspective, I am so glad that when I learned this, we started applying this, and this is how me and my wife got together. Okay? And once me and my wife got together, I cannot tell you how many, oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how many, pitfalls and things we have avoided because of including the ancestors in our decision making of this is what we need to do. Because in this road we call life, there's numerous forks that you come across. And if you approach things from a Western perspective, in which you go ahead and you're just based upon, your relationship is just based upon, hey, the fact that you like this individual and they got this body and they got this and they have this. If you approach things from that Western perspective, like I said, in which you're looking at each other as a piece of meat, versus the ancestral perspective in which you're looking at each other and you respect each other as a manifestation of the divine. When my wife and I went ahead and we came across this fork in the road, or these various forks in the road, which way did we turn? What do we do? We go ahead and we go to the oracle. The ancestors go ahead and speaking through the oracle say, this is the best interest. This is in your best interest to go ahead and take this road. Do this. Because of us going ahead and doing that, I cannot tell you how many pitfalls we have avoided. Because we're not arguing about, oh, this is the way I think we ought to do, or this is what I think we ought to do, based upon our experience, based upon our backgrounds, based upon what we think and our opinions. We're not doing any of that. We're not wasting our time with that. We go in here and we do a reading, and the reading says this is what it is. And because of that, we both respect the reading. We both respect the ancestors. we respect the counsel. And it goes ahead and it proves itself. The ancestors prove themselves time and time and time again. That is the most superior way. That is the wisest and the most powerful way I've ever seen in doing anything. That's how we approach things. This is our ancestral way of doing things. And this is how you go ahead and have a successful relationship. Okay? Now, if you continue to go ahead and do things without the ancestors, it's always a free fall. You basically are picking and choosing, if something's going to work, if something's not going to work. It's basically a luck of the draw. So I want to let you know this, okay? I wanted to go ahead and tell you this and share this with you. Because, winter is coming. But you don't want to go ahead. You want to survive the winter. How about that? You don't want to go ahead and just get somebody just because winter is coming. And then later on, spring takes place, and somebody standing there, you're still alone. No, you want to survive the winter, and that's what it's all about. It's all about growth. It's all about spiritual development. And that's what the ancestors are there. They will help you to go ahead and make that happen. Okay? Again, because they can see. They see when they're sizing each other up. They size others up. Because remember, they're speaking and they communicate to us through our higher self. So again, I wanted to just share that with you. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Again, if you got any comments, questions, or suggestions, feel free to drop me a line. Until next time, it's a Pooh family. Peace.
No pretending, baby.